So we are now recording the February 1st, 2019 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, right? So
5
the
o'clock for us.
East Coast is still in a deep freeze.
Brrr.
Still frozen. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm flying to Albany, New York tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, that's the beginning of the heat wave. We're going to be up to 60 degrees.
Albany. You said it wrong. It's Albany.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Troy. Raised
Oh.
across the river.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about is we now have a date for the Google Plus shutdown,
Aha.
April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Didn't
I
it?
haven't looked at it in so long, I'm not even going to miss it.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to start doing some things in February in a couple days.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing that they said that the email came out and said was it's only shutting down for free users. The G Suite users will still be able to use it.
No, I didn't know that. What's the point?
Google.
To pay. To
To
be
pay. They want paying users is what the deal is.
What, on Google Plus?
Google Plus, yes.
Yeah, but if everybody can access it, what would you use it for?
So I lose my 5,000 followers on Google Plus unless I move over to G Suite. But if I move over to G Suite, how many of those 5,000 will follow me and how many drop off because they're free? And really, did they do anything for me anyway?
I was going to ask you, Gina, what have they been following? Like what kind of collaboration or what kind of like what have you gotten out of these followers? What do they do? Do they give you comments?
When G Plus started, I think it was back in 2014, and they started with the Hangouts.
Yes.
I was actually on a TV show, believe it or not, in Missouri. So I was on the news, and I would do this news TV show as part of their afternoon show. And so I got a lot of followers doing that. But later, they shut that down. It really wasn't that successful because there were people jumping on that were doing things, inappropriate things, we'll say.
I remember that.
So that ended up getting shut down. So when that happened, people really started at first, a lot of scientists and a lot of, I'm going to say photographers and foodie people were the people that were on G Plus and doing things, and it was gaining, speed, but then it just kind of like died off and people started leaving it. And in the past couple of years, the only thing I've been putting on it have been basically these recordings. And I also tied it to like my Twitter account or my Facebook account. So there would be things cross-posted, but I'm just letting it go.
That's how I found you guys.
Oh, with a Hangout or Google Plus?
Yep.
Well,
Long time ago.
How did you find us through Google Plus? But how? How did it lead you to us?
So I don't remember exactly why or what, but I was setting up Google Plus, and it was in one of my circles, I guess is the best way to say it.
yeah.
And I always relied on the messages that came through my email that told me about the postings in Google through Google Plus. So I would always link over there and actually watch them. And matter of fact, I think there was a couple times I commented, and then that's when I learned it was somewhere else because Gina told me we put your comments here instead or something like that. But it was literally because of those posts. That's always how I get it.
Google Plus, when it first started out, used to have something called events, and I have not found an event that works as well as what was happening on Google Plus.
Yeah.
Remember I had that set up and it would notify people weekly. I think it notified people maybe a little too much. But
Not my dog.
but it did work well. Lately, I think more people are on Facebook. What I may try to do is bring up my YouTube subscription.
Yeah.
And just let G Plus go. I don't know. I mean, I don't much have a choice unless I want to move to G Suite.
There's not enough ROI that I can think of. I'm gonna spend
Gina,
more time and less time. How do I put this? 2019 is my year to be really careful about where I spend my time and where I think it's
more
really
focused online.
I think it's really important for us to be on social media and keep a presence out there and be helpful and everything. But it's real easy to get sucked in. And then, this month really bit me because I used to be so wicked fast getting stuff out the door. And the distractions, because, they are taking a toll. They're taking a toll. And it's all about balance and it's all about self-control. But, my personality is such that, especially if there's something I don't want to do, like,
Put it off, right?
okay. And I love to help. I mean, there's just something about my personality. If somebody needs me, man, I'm right there. But, when I realize that I'm not getting everything I need to get done by the end of the day, and then I end up working late, working on a weekend, and see, I'm falling back in some of those old habits. So I'm just 2019, I'm going to get really protective, I think, with
your time.
With my time. And there's also, it's like with the Google Plus. Yes, you have 500 followers and that you don't want to lose all that, but what are you gaining? What are you getting out of it?
Well, that's my question too. That's my
Does it
question.
equate to dollars? See, that's the thing. There's
But see, I wasn't doing it for dollars.
I know, but there's still got to be, if we're in business, there still has to be a benefit
Financially.
somewhere, because, I think it's important for us to have respect and people know who we are and they know, we know where to go for the people who are e-commerce. We know where to go for, we become sort of the go-to people in our field. And those do equate, we'll get a recommendation or something and we gain clients.
Branding, it's good for the brand.
It's all about the brand, and that's very important. But it's so easy to spend way too much time on some of the social media.
I agree. That's one of the reasons why I'm not on social media that much anymore. It was just taking too much of my time. I already spent a lot of time on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just have family, there's other things I want to be doing.
Absolutely.
It's my business, and so that's why, like, you hardly ever see me on Facebook anymore or any of that stuff. And it's just a choice I made. There's nothing wrong with people doing it, but for me, it's not the way I want to spend my time.
Well, there's a boundary thing. Like before all the social media and everything, we tried to have normal hours and a home life after 5 or whatever. Now you're self-employed, that doesn't always work, but you know what I mean? You still had work time and you had home time. And with the social media,
it's blended.
It's 24/7 and it's all blended together. Mm-hmm. And if you can't sleep, then the thing comes back out, it's like, okay. So,
and then when you're doing your own marketing, I was doing my own marketing all the time. Yeah. All those things help. Posting on Facebook, all that stuff, being on Twitter, all that. Mm-hmm. And then one year I just remember I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't have time for this. It's not the way I want to spend my time.
So Matt, you were going to say? Matt?
I'm going to say hashtag me too.
I know. You know, some of us are, well, and I go through phases too. I go through phases.
Well, this leads into what happened today, this afternoon in California with Seth and Mariette and Matt.
I'm
Mariette,
here.
do you want to talk about it, Matt? Tell us.
Mariette,
Still here?
Mariette must be driving.
I'm hoping Mariette can pick up the call because I got bad reception at the moment. So Mariette, you there?
Oh yeah, I just got in. So yeah, I think it does lead in. It does lead in well, and let me know if I get cut off too, because I that's why I kind of took a minute because I was trying to get better reception. But I think it does lead into what you guys are talking about. I think that what ends up happening with any kind of marketing strategy or social strategy or connecting strategy, because I mean ultimately there should be, you know, an intention to connect with people. There's an intention to convert those connections if it's a sales strategy, or there's a connection or a reason to be on social because you're trying to share a message. I mean, I like what Sarah said. I mean, I think we're going back to being intentional with our time. And so even with social media, you know, you're intentional on why you're on social media. That's where most people that actually see the value of social media is because they've gone to that level now where they're very intentional on what they're doing. And if they're just there to mess around, then they're doing that because it's their free time. Or if it's too much for them, then they use a scheduling app like Buffer or, you know, Hootsuite, or they hire a social media person to help them, because yeah, it's not something you do all day. That you don't monetize your business on social media like that. So I think that's important. Anita, like for instance, today, a good example was that, you know, obviously everyone that was at today's 97 and up, we called it a picnic, then we called it a field trip, then we called it a Zen meeting, because really that's what it was about. It was about getting together with, you know, 6 very close friends that we all met through social media. And so, I mean, it's a perfect example of, you know, I would have not known these 5 exceptionally brilliant, beautiful, kind, like-minded, heart, you know, built business people if I wouldn't have been on social media. So that's why I am never going to be one of those people that says, I don't believe in social media, because that would be saying I don't believe in the relationships I've created that are incredible. I mean, Gina, that's why I'm on your call today, right? So, but I think that's what it's about. It's like learning why you're doing it, and then connecting with the people that rock your world, and then leaving everything else behind. Like, you really have to learn how to not let the noise distract you. And if you have a personality where you can't make that disconnection, then you need to, you know, then maybe you shouldn't be on it. Because there's people that I get it. They're just, they get addicted. And if you have an addicted personality, just like any other addiction, then you do have to be careful with something like social.
Right. And Larry just says, Google G Suite was listed at about $5 a month. For me, it was never the price about moving over to G Suite. It was about moving the contacts and all the stuff, because Google does not.
Isn't G Suite a suite of apps? It didn't just Google Plus. I mean, it was all kinds of things, wasn't it?
Google Plus is a suite too, if you think about it. You've got your Gmail, you've got your YouTube, you know, all of those tools that are free that come along with it.
Well, they'll just have to make.
So when they're talking about Google,
it's because like I've got
when
a
they're
lot
talking about Google Plus going away, I'm sorry.
on Google Docs and that.
Sorry.
That you share them, and different people can go edit them and that.
Right.
So
So
What
Matt,
else do you get for the money other than G Plus? What else? Isn't there something else? Isn't there another
support,
part?
I think, is the main thing. You actually get access to support
Oh,
with G Plus. Well, now, or I mean with G Suite. Now they're sweetening the pot and giving you G Plus.
well, I wonder. Well,
is it a business thing too? Wasn't there a business level?
I don't know.
Google, yes. Google My Business. So that was actually going to be my question was, this is only Google Plus that's being impacted, right? Nothing else, the free stuff like the Google My Business or YouTube or anything else, I hope?
No, I don't.
It's my understanding it's just the Google Plus.
Okay.
They sent me an email
Thank you
and
for
they
the
said
info.
it's going away April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. I know.
They announced it a year ago. I mean,
They did,
Yeah.
but I actually officially got an email today saying that.
yeah, me too.
So let's move on. We're going to talk to Mariette, and in the vein of having more time, she has found an awesome email cleanup app.
Yes, it's called Maelstrom, and it's actually, I shared it with everybody in my Facebook story. So you can find it on my Facebook story. You can also find it on my Instagram story. And basically, it's an app that I was introduced to it by Kelly Gonzalez from New York, again, talking about social media. So when I met on social media, and she's in one of my Facebook group, We Are Self-Employed, I literally just posted something on today's Friday. So on Thursday night, I posted a quick post and just said, you know what, I'm having anxiety. I haven't had my email up in the multiple hundreds in like months, but I just had a really busy few weeks. And so my email was up in, I'm embarrassed to say it, but it was like up in the 700s. So that was crazy for me. And I couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep at night. Like I would get up in the middle of the night and have anxiety, but that's just me. I'm kind of like that. So anyway, so I totally went ahead and said, I'm going to put it out into the world, into the universe, so that someone can make me accountable and check on me, and hopefully I can get my email down. So I showed him where I was at with my email, and I said, I need to handle this. That was on Wednesday night. Yesterday in the morning, Kelly gave us a really awesome article, which I shared with all of you guys, and I'll put it into the Facebook Live once we're done. And it was an article that was on Firm of the Future, on different email apps that allow you to clean up your email box, and one of them was called Maelstrom. And all it does is it allows you to kind of organize all of those hundreds or thousands of emails into buckets, and it does it either by who is it emailed from, how big are the emails, how old are the emails, do the emails have attachments, and they put them in these really cool little buckets. And then you can go into those different buckets and do like major cleanup.
Nice.
And so, yeah, and I was able to go from over 700 emails to close to 300. It was 388 emails when I stopped last night. And that was only in 2 hours. I went from 700 to 388. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
Nice.
So I'm
So,
guessing Linda's not on this call because she would normally be giving me a hard time about my email right now because I need that.
Well, she actually posted on that article that on my Facebook story, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I need it!" And I said, "I get it. I was right there with you." So yeah, we need to do cleanup. I mean, again, it depends on what your anxiety. Like for me, there's very few things that cause me anxiety, like because I don't sleep very well as it is. But that will allow me to, like, that will make me have a sleepless night. Like I won't go to sleep. So I had to
So
clean
you're
that up.
talking about in your inbox or unread?
Both in my because see, I use my inbox as definitely like it doesn't get out of my inbox until it goes into a folder, until it goes into an Asana task,
Right.
until it gets responded to, or until it turns into something, maybe even a calendar invite. Like it does not leave my inbox until I do something with it.
Right.
And so those were over 700 things that I had to do something with. So that's why it was causing
it
anxiety.
just is a little overwhelming. I get it. And that works well, that method of using your email that way, because I do the same thing, Mariette. I will not take it out of my inbox until I've done whatever I need to do. And as long as you can keep up with it, it's wonderful. But you get a 2-week stretch and oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got 45,000 in my inbox. I don't have any trouble at all sleeping at night.
I have 85,000.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, but
85,000.
I've got 60 in another.
Sounds like me.
I tend to abandon the email address after a while if it gets around 65,000.
Well, I have all these rules set up. So like anything that's a store or a catalog, it's a filing cabinet. They go automatically in a folder, and this is new, and I can't get it to work right, but it's supposed to delete after 90 days. So I'm like Office Depot, all those coupons and all those, I don't
That
want
make you sign up and give them your email address?
I want it to come in and go into that folder, and I would never need anything probably more than 60 days old.
Right.
And then I have read and delete. I have, but sometimes I'm just going through and I just don't feel like reading and all that. And those just sort of end up filling up the inbox. And so every once in a while I'll sort it by name, and I'll go and I'll nuke whole, but God, when you get to 82, that's 2016, I think is when last time I cleaned it all out. So, that's a lot.
I actually wrote an article. I should pull it out and use it this Sunday fun day. It's all about it's actually called I Hate Email. I've never posted it anywhere. You should pull that one out.
We'll have to look for it. Post it in our group, please.
It was actually inspired by Matthew, not answering any emails. Yeah, I've been quiet. He must be in a dead zone.
All righty, we're going to move on.
I knew I was not the only one.
Well, I think
Yvette just shared hers. But those are
Dennis
unread.
wins.
Those are unread, right? Now, if it has a little notification on it, I have to click it. And that's why.
Oh my God, 62,000.
So what saved me with the Facebook was, okay, I want to decide I'm going to now go into Facebook and then look. I had to turn off those little numbers, because if I go anywhere near a computer and I see a little number, my personality, I have to see what that little number is.
How can I turn that off?
Huh?
How do I turn that off?
And notifications, I think.
Email bankruptcy.
You know what the funny thing is? Sometimes you visit somebody's website briefly, not something that you're going to go to every day or whatever. Let's say there's some kind of tool you're looking for.
Right.
You're looking it up. Next thing you know, those manufacturers or those, the salespeople or whatever, boom, boom, boom. You're getting
boom, boom. I know.
You're getting
5,000 emails.
Well, unsubscribing, like for the longest time, we were taught not to unsubscribe, because that would tell them that you really do exist. But now they're like, go ahead now, because I guess the laws have changed, and they're supposed to have the real easy unsubscribe. Like if you hit unsubscribe and they want your email, undo that. But now there was an app that when I was hosted by Gmail, that roll up.
Yeah, I have that.
I love that thing, because you could say unsubscribe, you just click, and it unsubscribed them.
Yep.
And it would roll up the stuff that you didn't care about, but you sort of wanted to peruse, because every once in a while it'd be something I want to read, And but once I went back to Outlook, roll up doesn't work with Outlook. So I don't know. But I tell you what, as soon as I turned off the little notification with the little numbers, I had no desire to click on Facebook. I was worried about that, and that's what it was. It's that little.
You think somebody wants to notify you, you have to know what it is.
Somebody's looking for me. Somebody's looking for me.
Yeah,
It's like I got
exactly.
to return a phone call, and so now I could do my work and go, okay, taking a break, go into Facebook. Then you can see your notifications and who's been tagging you and stuff like that. So it's a completely different mind. That simple task completely changed up the last week, because I just did this. But so I think I'm going to keep them off. So if somebody tags me and I don't show up, for a while, you know why. If it's really important, email me.
That's what I've told people. I have had people try to message me on Facebook. Look, when I am working, I have Facebook off. I am not going to get that message. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Badges off.
It's the badge. That's right. It's the
Badges.
phone and the tablet. It's the badges. And I turned off the badges, and it was amazing. And
Actually, I have a question for the group.
Yeah.
What is your preferred, like everyone, I just would love to be interested. What is your preferred method of communication? Each one of you.
Email.
Because I can deal with it. I don't have to respond, and I can shoot off a copy into my practice
You're
management.
not interrupted from doing what you're doing right now.
So 3 emails so far. So what else? Who else?
I like
Phone
Slack
call.
with my customers, Slack.
Okay.
Phone call.
So, who said phone call? Matt?
Ernest.
No,
Oh,
I did
Ernest?
not. That was Matt. I said email. For anything that I need to remember, it's like email is my memory.
Because it's
Got
written
it.
down.
And you don't have to search for it. Facebook
Right.
Messenger, it's like, where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could.
When
Yeah,
you're
I don't like. When anyone. Yeah, I like
I
Facebook
set up a
Messenger for real.
trigger. My new thing is OneNote. I am like, oh my God, that is becoming my brain dump. Okay. And I'm doing procedures for clients. I've got OneNotes for everything. So I was like, okay, there isn't an app that will send an email from a iPad or iPhone over to OneNote. So I was playing with Flow, which is like a competitor to Zapier. And I said, if I click on the little flag in Outlook, it'll shoot a copy out over to a page in OneNote. But all I have to do is click it and unclick it. I've got a copy.
Oh, nice.
So now I've got this folder of stuff. And so if there's an email that's going to become a task, or I want to save it or whatever, that has turned out to be really good, because I'm so afraid that something's going to slip through the cracks.
I know. That's the problem.
So
Okay,
Zapier
change
and
the
stuff like that.
subject. We're going to get to Ernest so that he can talk about Ernest.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up this thing that I saw online today, talk about being online in Facebook. So I saw somebody today that has set up a webinar. And the whole purpose of the webinar is for people to pay, every participant pays $50 in order to get, to be able to attend the webinar. And the webinar is literally just showing how to create financial statements in Excel. In other words, how to export from QuickBooks into Excel and reformat it.
I could have done that webinar.
I know most of us here could have. So that's awesome. But they have something called Patreon. Are you familiar with Patreon?
No, I haven't heard of that. But I guess, my angle on that was, okay, well, I guess that's kind of clever to, find a new revenue stream. But at the same time, I mean, I create content and dump it out there in videos.
You should look up Patreon, because Patreon is made for YouTube. Well, I've seen other people using it other ways too. But
you're talking about monetizing something?
Monetizing your Hangouts or whatever it is you're doing, webinars or whatever. Patreon allows people to pay whatever they want to. So if they feel like, your webinar was worth $100, you'll get $100. If they don't feel like paying anything, you don't get anything.
But so many of us give this away for free,
Yeah,
well,
that's really the topic I wanted to talk about here.
Right.
When do you decide that you should monetize it?
Actually, I believe Seth used Patreon before, but there are other YouTube regular weekly events that I do go to, and they do use Patreon, and they're using it successfully.
Tech uses that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, at what point is content so valuable that maybe we should hesitate and go, I really need to charge for this, And then
That's
what's
the
the
hard
best
part.
way to do it? Because, it was like I was putting together an ebook on 1099s, and everybody's like, "Where's your ebook? Where's your ebook?" And finally, I slowed down on it because I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is going to be not only very time consuming to do it right, but legally, I need to make sure that I am correct on everything, and I've got the sites on everything, and I've got stuff to back up my opinions on how I do things." So
you're taking risk with it, in other words, and you
I am
need to
taking a
cover that
risk
risk.
with it, and the hours that it takes for me to share my knowledge or something that I think that's one thing I would like to monetize.
One thing I've seen on YouTube and Patreon is that I'm on 2 or 3 different foreign language channels. And what they do is you get the video for free, you watch the video on YouTube, but if you want to get the transcripts and lessons, and you pay a Patreon, you subscribe.
That's a way to monetize it.
That's a way
at
to
different
do it.
levels. For example, if you want to pay $1 a week, you get the transcripts. If you want to pay $3 a week, you get, more lessons and that kind of stuff. So it's
That's the good idea. It's having those kind of a template concepts, like an idea that I had and I've talked with Linda about is literally being able to take a download of bank transactions, and if we provided a template that has a pivot table on the backside that's formatted like a profit and loss, and all people have to do is copy and paste their transactions in, you create a course on showing how to clean up the data, right? But then you sell the template would be the possibility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me throw the question out there. So I have built a whole template for Power BI and QBO, unwinding some of that mess. Who would actually be interested in that in this group?
I would.
Explain it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Power BI
What does
is.
it do again? Well, I know.
Power BI has, kind of a rough template for doing some reporting, but I actually went through and went back to the raw data source, and there's a lot of work to build the data model. So that would be the template that I would sell, but explaining what it is and how to continue to evolve it would be the webinar.
So Ernest, to provide a little more context, Power BI, guys, is a graphical interface that you can visually show your financials, everything else. So you can make your own dashboards with Power BI.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a dashboard for QBO is what Ernest is talking about.
It's
created
awesome.
a dashboard.
What I've seen sometimes on the webinar model is that people will have like recorded webinars, and then they'll rebroadcast them. You sign up, and if you didn't know better, you think it was a live broadcast, and then you could maybe do it that way, and then have the sell the model after the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just
So
have.
would you like to demo your Power BI with us, Ernest?
Oh, yeah. Am I ready to do that on the fly?
No, not today, not right now. We're almost out of time right now. Actually, we're a little over time.
Maybe next week. Yeah, okay, got it.
Just let me know.
Didn't Lisa want to do something next week?
Are we doing something next week?
Or she had asked if we would have a session on what we're using for document management, I think.
Who was asking for that?
Lisa from Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Von Krutar.
Oh, okay. I wasn't on this afternoon.
No, it wasn't today. It was within the last couple days. She was like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you vaguely? I don't know. The last couple days all blurring together.
So Ernest, would that be in the same vein as like QCube, that type of thing?
So QCube literally goes and pulls all the information out of QuickBooks Desktop and creates a great data model. And then other report writers like Power BI, Excel, Crystal, all of those go grab that information. So the problem with QuickBooks Online right now is the data model, right, that Intuit gives you is pretty complete, and it's pretty problematic in a lot of ways. So I'd love to actually show you guys what Power BI looks like. It has a ton of functionality.
Well, think about it, work on it. I'm not sure if next week is available. We've got to talk to Lisa and keep our promise there first. But yeah, love to have you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And before we go, I'm going to say last week we did a YouTube premiere and
on
watched
Saturday
it on Facebook.
How'd that go?
It worked out well. We got many more viewers. We got a lot more views happening. So I'm going to do it again this week. Only I have figured out how to do it with a watch party. It's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to do the same thing. So look for invites for a watch party tomorrow around lunchtime.
Cool.
Got it.
So that'll be like what Dennis said. It'll look like it's live, but it'll actually be this recording that we're recording now.
I did notice the only difference between watching it there versus like waiting for it to get onto YouTube is you can't like fast forward you actually have to sit and watch it.
Right, you have to actually
people
watch
can
it.
comment. It's actually it builds a comment thread, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. The problem that I had before in the past was Facebook would only do Facebook things, but I think I've figured out how to connect the two. So we'll be doing that tomorrow.
Okay.
Is there anything anyone else would like to talk about before we go?
Nope, just everybody catch up on their sleep.
That's right.
I said we survived the year that was January.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Congratulations.
Yay, we made it through another one.
So we will see you all next week, same time, same place. Watch for us tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.